As advertised, everybody, here on Wake Up Warchant and on YouTube, here on Warchant TV, we have Jeff Culhane, the new voice of Florida State athletics for football and men's basketball. Thank you for joining us, Jeff. Been a whirlwind, I bet.
It's been a great day, Aslan. It's been a dream come true, and thank you so much for having me and talking with your subscribers, your listeners, and what a day! Can't thank everybody enough that's reached out, and I can't wait to get to Tallahassee and connect with Seminole fans everywhere.
All right, well, take us at the beginning then. How does a passion for broadcast and college sports sort of grow in a young man such as yourself?
Yeah, just always around it. Love sports. Played a lot of sports growing up: football, basketball, baseball. Played some college football, a year of college baseball, and always wanted to have sports be in my life. From a broadcasting standpoint, I got my first radio job when I was 14 years old at an oldie station. Spinning oldies, doing news, weather, and sports, and started calling games when I was 18 years old. And so, my dad, Steve, has been a huge influence for me. He was a guy that was in broadcasting at a younger age and a public address announcer. I have an uncle, Kevin, who gave me my first full-time gig out of college at a radio station he owned, and we did a ton of stuff together, shows, games, all sorts of great ways for me to cut my teeth. And, just the college aspect of it. Saturdays in the fall, there's nothing like it. And just the history, the tradition, the pageantry of what college athletics, college football is all about. That I'm also a big hoops guy as well. I love college basketball. And so it's just been something that's been ingrained in me for a long, long time. And so to have the opportunity to be at a place like Florida State University is a dream come true, and one I can't wait to get started here ASAP.
Yeah. Lincoln, Nebraska, Morgantown, West Virginia, most recently Fargo, North Dakota, covering the Bison. Just an absolute run of success that they've had at North Dakota State. I mean, for you, how appealing, I know it probably speaks for itself, but people like to hear about how much their alma mater is beloved. How easy of a decision was it for you to pick Tallahassee and Florida State to further your career?
So easy. Florida State football speaks for itself, and not just football. I mean, obviously football is massive. It's a blue blood. The brand of Seminole athletics, I think, is one of the great brands, not only in college athletics, but in all of sports, period, overall. And, the job that Leonard Hamilton has done with the Florida State men's basketball program, I think, goes undervalued nationally. I think he's done an amazing job at Florida State. Obviously, FSU baseball has been unbelievable with the postseason streak and College World Series and Omaha and everything that Seminole baseball has accomplished in its great history, and unbelievable women's sports and Olympic sports, Aslan, as well. I mean, I don't want to leave anything out. I think one of the fun things with this position, with this director of broadcasting role, is, obviously football and men's basketball, you start there from a play-by-play standpoint, but that we're going to see how much else we can branch out to and telling the stories and relaying the successes of coaches and student athletes at Florida State University to Seminole fans everywhere. And I'm really excited about that. And so that's something that is going to be a lot of fun. But like you said, I mean, it speaks for itself. Growing up, watching the great Bobby Bowden teams of the 80s and the 90s, Charlie Ward, Warwick Dunn, that national championship team in 1993, the dominance of the team in 1999. Guys like Peter Warwick, who was one of my favorite players growing up, P-Dub, with his amazing plays and explosive nature with how he could put the ball in the end zone, even throwing the football as well at times. And certainly the handoff from Bobby to Jimbo Fisher and his national championship team in 2013, led by Jameis Winston and so many great players. There's so many former players I can't wait to connect with. I'm really looking forward to working with, bar none, William Floyd on the broadcast and Tom Block as well. Those two guys are so great at what they do, and I'm just looking forward to being a part of the team with them. And obviously, Gene Deckerhoff is amazing, an absolute legend, almost a half century of calling FSU athletics, still doing his thing with the Buccaneers this fall. And I'm going to do what I can do every single day to live up to his legacy. And I can't beat Gene. There's no question about that. But I'm going to do whatever I can to try to reach that challenge that he left each and every day I put the headset on.
I was going to volunteer our own Corey Clark. You'll meet him at some point, Jeff. He is just an absolute encyclopedia of Florida State knowledge, but you're already brushed up on everything, man. It sounds like. So you're going to hit the ground running. That's incredibly impressive. You mentioned the director of broadcast title that you have, in addition to being the voice of Florida State sports when it comes to football and men's basketball. I mean, obviously, with the proliferation of the internet and everyone's got a podcast, people are watching games, listening to it on their phones. I imagine there's probably a big push from you in the front office here at Florida State University to really kind of diversify the programming that's out there for Florida State fans and athletics. I guess, can you give us maybe kind of a 5,000 foot kind of view of what you hope to create in Tallahassee when you get here?
Yeah, I mean, no question. And I think we don't have anything really locked in, from a blueprint standpoint that we're dead set on doing right now. But I think the release told the story a little bit. Seminole fans are rabid. I don't know, I got to tell you that, Aslan. I mean, you guys do a great job at Warchant and provide that the different platforms to consume Seminole athletics and the ACC and college football and college basketball. And I think there's some things that with my past, starting a radio station here from the ground up, covering NDSU athletics, starting podcasts at West Virginia and hosting a statewide talk show at Nebraska on 25 radio stations. The sky's the limit. And we're gonna try and create some opportunities for some more consumption. Maybe give everybody a look behind the scenes at what's going on with the coaches and the student athletes. And there's a tremendous marketing team and what a creative team as well with what they do with the climb and all the production pieces that are already going on at FSU. And so it's going to be a great collaboration. I can't wait to work with so many great people there and create some fun, new creative ways to get in touch with everybody around Seminole athletics.
And then for you, so how does this happen then, Jeff? I mean, I guess you hear news, within the broadcast fraternity that Gene Deckerhoff is going to retire. I mean, is it one of those things where you sleep on it for a night? Like, can I do this? Do I want to do this? I mean, do you reach out to your agent? When is the first sort of contact made? And kind of walk us through the journey of, people apply for jobs on Indeed.com and go through that sort of stuff. I'm sure people are really interested to know how you go about getting a job with this sort of prestige and this sort of, visibility.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. The goal, for me getting into broadcasting was to be at a place like this. To, you never knew where it would be. A lot of it's timing. So much luck goes into it. A lot of it's who you know, right? And so that's a big part of it. But I'll tell a quick story. I've told it a couple of times, but I'll tell it with you and with your viewers and listeners and readers. I had Gene on my radio show in Nebraska over a decade ago. And he told a story about spending time with Bobby Bowden and how, asked Gene how his summer had been going. And he said, been great. Just spent some time with Coach Bowden over the weekend, had some cool drinks. We were on the water. I think they had a shrimp boil for dinner that night. And you could just hear the enthusiasm in his voice for his love of Bobby Bowden and his love of Florida State University. And it was at that point, Aslan, that it clicked for me that, I knew I wanted to be, at a place where it's a big deal. It matters. But it clicked for whatever reason that night when I talked to Gene that it's about people. It's about building relationships. It's about helping people in any way you can, any way, shape, or form. And so, Florida State from that point on kind of had this, it was seared into my memory, into my brain for whatever reason. And so I kept an eye on the Seminoles and listened to Gene and William and Tom from time to time on the apps when I could. And was listening to the game against Notre Dame when I was mowing my lawn in Fargo, North Dakota, this last September, Labor Day weekend. And so it's always been, for whatever reason, a place that has had a connection afar for me. And, when Gene announced that he was retiring in March, I believe, and had his last broadcast with the Garnet and Gold spring game, you connect with some of the people, and, I got to thank Michael Alford a ton, Vice President, Director of Athletics, Caleb Swan, the General Manager at Seminole Sports Properties, Peter Collins, the president of the board of trustees, and Stephen Ponder as well, the new president and CEO of Seminole Boosters. I tell you what, their vision for what they're looking to do with Florida State athletics is just so exciting. And the passion they have for creating and continuing and creating a different level of excellence at Florida State is palpable. And it's something I wanted to be a part of going through the selection process. And, Tom Bowman, Chris Ferris, Adam Winton at Learfield on the broadcast side, those guys have been friends and mentors for a long time. And so, you go through it, ultra competitive field, obviously, so many great candidates. I feel lucky that I'm the guy. It's an honor. It's an amazing opportunity, and one I do not take for granted in any way, shape, or form. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, that said, you've got, I don't know, I think 68 days as we record this before Florida State's first football game. Not a practice or anything. The first football game is going to happen in 68 days. You'll be on the microphone. What do you have to do to get ready for that?
It's already started. I've got some notes here going to work already with a rundown of this program and this team. I had a great conversation with Mike Norvell Monday morning, earlier this morning, as we're talking right now, about his passion for this group, his blueprint, how I can help, how I can be involved and be a part of it. And I can't wait to meet Coach and get to know him better and better. And so that's exciting. But the work has already started. We've already watched and even listened to some of Gene and bar none and Tom's broadcast from last season. Also a men's basketball broadcast with Gene and Adrian from last season as well. And so, I'm going to do whatever I can to get ready. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to know everything there is to know about every little thing in Florida State athletics history, but I'm going to be ready for that first game. And I pride myself on the preparation, on hopefully providing a nugget for the fans that are listening to kind of make them nod their head and go, all right, he's ready to rock. He's locked in. I didn't realize that about this game or this storyline. And certainly capturing the moments on the field is what it's all about as well. What Gene was so amazing at for such a long time. And so the work has begun. I can't wait. And I can't wait for August 27th. And certainly, Aslan, can't wait for the Superdome Sunday night of Labor Day weekend. What a great non-conference tilt. One of the great games all season in college football will be Florida State and LSU. Can't wait.
Yeah. All right, a couple quick questions. What is your favorite call of all time that you've made on the mic?
Gosh, I've been blessed to be here at NDSU. We've had a couple of our tagline, I guess, the social media tag is horns up for Bison fans. And back in 2016, I'm sure everybody's aware of it. NDSU's had a great run versus FBS opponents. They took down the 11th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes at Kinnick Stadium in front of a packed house. And Cam Peterson drilled a 37-yard walk-off field goal to win it that day in Iowa City. And the big call at the end was horns up, Hawkeyes down. And for Bison fans, it clicked, and that became the call after every big Bison win. At West Virginia, we started something up called Q Country Roads after every win that I was a part of because of the tradition of playing John Denver's Country Roads song in venue and at Mountaineer Pushkar Stadium. And so been blessed to be a part of some special moments. Obviously, NDSU football speaks for itself, called 4 national championship games and been a part of some unbelievable moments with guys like Easton Stick, Trey Lance, 3rd pick in the NFL draft back a couple of years ago and going to be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And so I've been lucky to have a few and look forward as well to being a part of some big ones here at Florida State down the road.
Will you kind of let it organically happen, some kind of signature Florida State call, or is it something that you're already kind of tinkering about and thinking about?
Yeah, trust me, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out, hey, what works here? What fits in? What fits in there, right? And so, yeah, I've thought about from scene setters to dramatic big wins, walk-off winners, beating the Gators as much as possible. What will that call be? I don't have it locked in yet, but tune in. We'll have it for you August 27th.
Coldest press box you've ever been in?
Whew, thank God we're inside in Fargo at the Fargo Dome. They used to play outdoors in the old D2 days at Old Dakota Field. Those dudes were tough, man. Those guys were tough playing outside in Fargo in December. But I'll be honest with you, one of the coldest games I've ever called came in Frisco, Texas, at the 2019 FCS National Championship game, in of the least cold place you'd expect, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Frisco, north of the Metro. And so it was sleeting that day. It was snowing, coming at you sideways, and the field was a mess. And it was not the kind of day you were expecting for January in Dallas and in Fort Worth. But that was one of the colder days. Probably, I think it was, the real feel was 19 degrees that day in January in North Texas, which is just bizarre to think about. So, yeah.
It's 100. It's going to be 104 degrees in Tallahassee. Not even the heat in, just 104 degrees outside on Wednesday. So you won't have to worry about that. And I guess this last one, what was like the most luxurious, posh press box you've been into broadcast a game?
Oh man, there's been some good ones. There's also not some good ones at the FCS level, as I'm sure you can imagine. But we got a great booth at the Fargo Dome. Scott Miller, who was the play-by-play man here, a legend of 20 years, sadly passed away in early 2016. That's how I was able to become the play-by-play voice here. There's some energy around that booth because of Scott and the legacy that he left here at North Dakota State University. But the booth at Iowa, I've been able to be around the Big 12, be around the Big 10 as well, and be a part of some of the great facilities and stadiums and atmospheres in college football, and was able to walk through Gene's booth at Doe Campbell Stadium as well during my site visit. And so that one's going to be one I look forward to calling home and working in for many years to come.
Yeah, Clemson game, Florida game, those will definitely be rocking.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate the time, man. Jeff Culhane, he is now the voice of Florida State sports when it comes to our football teams and our men's basketball teams. We can't wait for you to get down here, man. Definitely sounds like you're the man for the job, and we appreciate you taking out the time.
Hey, thanks so much. I look forward to meeting you in person, Aslan. I know Corey will get that tech issue figured out, Corey. We'll get it all lined up. It's all good. We're looking forward to seeing you guys in Tallahassee and meeting up with everybody and talking with Seminole fans. I appreciate this, and go Noles. Let's have some fun.